Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Hot Takes with Matt and Hot Sauce. It is a wonderful Thursday. Yesterday was Kalvin's birthday, so happy birthday to Kalvin.
Yes, sir.
Kalvin, one, how was your birthday? And then two, how is the eye doing? You had your procedure done 8 days ago. How's the healing process going so far?
Man, birthday was amazing. I'm just grateful and blessed to be here. Another year around the sun, man. It was really good. It was a little different this year because of the eye surgery a little bit over a week ago, as you said. I usually do push-ups. Everybody who tell me happy birthday has to give me at least push-ups of the year I'm turning. And I can do it this year, but it's always next year. But the eye, dun dun dun, doing amazing, baby. It's good. It's healing up. The swelling went down a lot. It's still a little pink. But the surgeon said that surgery went perfect in his eyes, man. Everything's really
Awesome.
good. Had a little scar tissue that he didn't anticipate from the previous surgeries, but he said everything's good. I got to do my part now, which is super difficult for me, and that's slow down and let it heal. So I can't do any type of strenuous workout. Actually, I can't work out at all. No push-ups, no jumping jacks, no running, no cycling. All I can do is really walk. You know what I mean? And so, me in my fashion, I walk, but then I walk backwards, add a little extra variant to it, man. But
There you
so
go.
just trying to slow it down a little bit, man. But we here. Good to actually
Yeah.
literally
So are
see y'all,
you
man.
Yeah. So are you okay? So you're 8 days out. When can you have like your first somewhat regular workout again?
It said 2 weeks from surgery, so I have about 6 days left before I can actually. So I'm gonna hit the ground running. Of course, I just gotta listen to my body. You can feel it too when I try to push it too much. Like the surgeon said, I couldn't lift more than 15 pounds, right? And me being a blockhead, yesterday, like, you know what? I'm gonna just lift 15-pound dumbbells, man. Said I can't lift 15 pounds. And I started doing my circuit. I'm like, man, why is my eyes starting to build up? I go, duh, dummy. This is 30 pounds. This is two 15-pound dumbbells. Equals 30. You know what I mean? So that was my blockhead moment where I just try to get caught up and try to get back to it. I just missed the stuff. I mean, it quickly reminded me that this ain't what you're supposed to be doing, big fella. So I slowed down on it.
And now you just turned 36. And we had a conversation a few
Yeah.
years ago where you said, hey, 36 ideally is the last year. That's the age I kind of want to stop fighting. You have hopefully a big fight announcement coming in the future, but big
So
picture, what have you been thinking about your career moving forward?
that's crazy that you say that too, man. I remember saying that when I first turned professional. I was like, man, 36, 37 max. And we don't want to retire. And then it goes so fast, man. Like
Yeah.
that shit just flew by, man. Almost like pump the brakes. But I'm still sticking to it though, man. Like the TBL added a new variant to it because that's something that, in my opinion, is a little bit different than regular fighting. It's only one round. I can last a little bit longer. One round doesn't require as much preparation as you would for a 10 or 12 round fight. You're not in training camp for 8 weeks. You're not having to spar all these different rounds. It's just a one round fight. It's pretty consistent. It's pretty demanding as a travel. But as far as like competing and wear and tearing your body, it's actually really good, man. So that adds a different variant to it. But I think I'm still sticking to my gun, man. I'm not looking to be fighting, competing at the top level too much longer. I have a big fight announcement coming up. I'm looking like next week I'll announce it on the socials. But as far as that, I think I'm feeling a shift in my life, not only in my career but just in my life, man. And it's almost like a calming, peaceful shift too. Like I'm not as pressed to keep fighting, you know what I mean, as I was when I was younger. And so it's kind of cool, man.
Dude, that's a really cool thing to hear. So could you see this being kind of you're right into the sunset this next fight when it comes to
Maybe.
fighting entire length fights?
Yeah, for sure. Man, maybe, man. Really, man, I can see that. You know, I don't want to put it out there just yet, but I can definitely see this being all right, man. It may be wrapping it up. You know what I mean? How they do like this, wrap it up. You know what I mean? It may be one of the moments we wrapping it up. But anything is possible. You know what I'm saying? Especially in boxing. I get a phone call where I fight Ben Whitaker for $2 million. I would be an idiot to say no to that. You know what I'm saying? Strap him up one more again, baby. Put me in, coach. One more again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. So you never know.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, cool. Well, that sounds good. Looking forward to the announcement. We'll definitely be staying tuned onto that. There's a lot going on in the boxing world right now. And actually, before I talk about that, I want to just elaborate and kind of piggyback what you were saying, that you're kind of feeling a little bit more peace as you're coming to the end of your boxing career. I don't know if you saw this, but the UFC fighter Dustin Poirier, he just got arrested at an airport, and the body cam footage came out, and it wasn't a good look for him. He was very drunk. And right before that happened, there's a recent interview where he said, when I'm not fighting, I'm a danger to myself. When I'm not working towards something and working to build my family up, I'm a danger to myself. And he's kind of said that in different variations over the years. And he just not having that fighting in his life has been super difficult for him. And he's a pretty well-respected MMA fighter. A lot of people like him. He's a pretty classy guy when he was in the MMA. Looked at as like a family man. But I think that's a good thing to hear from you, because a lot of fighters, they have a tough time calling it quits. And most fighters historically hang on for too long. They keep pushing it, and then eventually they're in a situation they shouldn't be. So any
Matt,
wisdom or feedback you want to share on that?
For sure. And a little bit more about that. I think not even just fighters, I think athletes in general, sometimes they find their identity with their sport or what they do. And so, like, if I'm a football player, they find identity of being classified or labeled as a football player. I think for a while I was the same way too. And I think that shift in my life is that boxing is no longer who I am. Boxing is what I do. You know what I mean? Because if boxing is who I am, when boxing is over with, that part of me dies. You know what I'm saying? Which is a horrible way. You know what I mean? Because now you start looking for that same high, that same feeling, or like you say, stay too long in the sport. So once athletes figure out that whatever sport they're in is what they do and not who they are, that's when the transition gets a lot easier. You know what I mean? You apply the same thing you learn in your sport, the same lessons, the same skills that you learn, and just apply it to something different.
No, that's super well said. That's super well said. I'm glad we touched on that a little bit. Yeah, I think that's a great perspective, and also just building different avenues for yourself, right? Like, you can go a lot of different ways. You got your gym, you got your family, you're involved at your church. You know, who knows? You can be in the media world. I mean, you have different avenues, but I agree. I think a lot of guys just kind of have a one-track mind, and then they're thrown for a loop. You know, especially I think of running backs in the NFL. They only last until you're like 25, 26, and then they bounce out of the league. And it's like, what do when you're, you know, you can squat 500 pounds, you can run a 4.40, and you're 25 years old, and now you got to work a 9 to 5 after being the man in college, after being in the NFL. It's a tough thing. So
it's tough,
that's a good perspective we got.
It's really tough. That's how I felt about not David Tua, the quarterbacks from the Dolphins, when he got like brutally seized up, you know what I mean? And then you hear like a month later he's back to playing. I'm going, what? I told one of my clients, I said, man, it's not a lot of jobs that pay you $30 million a year. You know what I mean? It's not a lot of people like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and put the bandit on that motherfucking forehead. I'm gonna book back out there, coach. I'm all right, you know what I'm saying? So it's tough, like you said, man. It's tough when, like you say, you're 25, 26. You've been playing football since you was 5 years old. That's literally your only skill set is football. But now you got to pivot and transition. You know what I'm saying? That's difficult. It's difficult.
It's trippy, man. It's trippy. But talking about some guys near retirement, we got Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury. It sounds like the contracts have been signed, but there's still some moving pieces that are trying to be figured out about who's going to be involved in the promotion, where it's going to be. And I find this super interesting. Tyson Fury was at the UFC White House card, the MMA event, and like he was banned from America. He was not able, or maybe suspended. I don't want to say banned, but so that must have been uplifted. He was at the event, and I'm wondering, hey, is that a hint that the Anthony Joshua Tyson Fury fight might happen in, say, Las Vegas? What do you think about that?
I think that'd be good for the American market, man. But what about the UK market, man? Both of the guys from over there, this fight is a huge fight. I can see this selling out the O2 Arena. You know what I mean? And it's a huge fight. So I'm not sure what their thought process is to bring it over here to the States when their fans and their crowd base there can support that financially and will support that financially. And of course, we want heavyweight fights here, but what really helps sell the heavyweight market in America is having an American heavyweight. You know what I mean? Like, you got two guys from across the pond fighting, which is a really good fight. I just think it would do way better. It makes way more sense across the pond.
Yeah, I agree. I think it does make more sense, but I would love it if it's in America. I would go. Cal, we should go. If it ends up being in America, let's go out to Vegas or wherever it is and enjoy the fight. And I think the reason why it would be in America is the fundraising, right? The guy who's signing the check, Turkey Al Sheikh, if he wants it in America, there's a good chance it'll be in America. I think it's as simple as that. So we'll see.
Man,
I think it'll most likely happen in the UK. What was that?
Speaking of Turkey, man, I've heard that he got some sickness going on right now. I think somebody reported about dementia or something like that, and it's sad, man. It's sad. Just like the amount of power and money and wealth you have, this doesn't stop our life. You know, life doesn't stop life, and just because you super wealthy and shit, like, man, you know what I mean? That's just like a hardcore reminder. I mean, about like wealth isn't everything. You know what I mean? Yeah, wealth isn't everything. People think like, if I get enough money to do this, then I'm good. I'm happy. Nah, that ain't how it works, man. I can imagine the wealthiest man on earth would give it all up to live. But I don't know.
100%. No, I think health is wealth. Health is everything, man. You don't have your health, that changes it all. That's why, you know, I look at the guys in boxing, and I've said this before on the show, and I might sound a little extreme, but I don't think Deontay Wilder should be allowed to fight again because that guy has taken an insane amount of damage, and the quality of his life, especially if he keeps on fighting, is going to be bad. I know that sounds intense, but that's just kind of the way I see it. So, I think it's just Deontay Wilder, if he has $100 million to his bank account, but he can't enjoy it because he doesn't have his health, what's the point of it? You know? So that's just kind of my thought. I think health is everything. It's really sad for Turkey. There's no doubt that Saudi Arabia and Turkey funding the sport of boxing, they've definitely been a positive for the sport of boxing because they've made all these big fights happen. They've signed such big checks that have overcome the politics to see the matchups we've wanted to see. And this would be the ultimate matchup if he can actually get Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua to fight each other, because that's been 10 plus years in the making. That's the biggest fight to make. Hopefully he can make it happen. Both guys, last thing we'll discuss about this fight is both guys are taking tune-up fights. Anthony Joshua's tune-up fight has been announced already. Tyson Fury is likely going to be fighting August 1st in Dublin. AJ's fighting Kristen Penga, who's ranked 33rd on BoxRec last time I checked, and he's 20-1. Hasn't fought great competition. But what do you think about the tune-up fights before this massive event?
I think they're risky, especially with Tyson Fury. It's risky because Tyson Fury just periodically doesn't really take tune-up serious sometimes, and he ends up being in trouble or more trouble than what he would like to be and stuff. Like when he got cut against that one tune-up fight, he was on Top Rank. He got a nasty cut that the fight almost gets stopped. The fight gets stopped. You know, he lost on record. And then when he fought against Ngannou, and I mean he trained for that fight. Man, that fight ended up being a lot tougher than what he thought. You know what I mean? So I think tune-up fight with Tyson Fury is risky. You know what I mean? Are they necessary? Maybe so, to get the weight off and be almost like a midpoint. Like if he's 315 pounds, we do a fight here, get him down to 285. And by the time he fight Joshua, he's at 265. It's like a midway, kind of get the weight down, get him something to motivate it. More like the Alp in front of that horse. But they're risky though. You know what I mean? And so it's tough. You gotta find a guy where it's worth putting the money on to have the Tyson Fury fight, and then not too dangerous to where it puts in a risk for the bigger fight down the path. But I get it though.
Yeah, I mean, both guys are so prideful in that matchup that they will do whatever it takes not to lose. So yeah, I understand Tyson Fury getting another tune-up fight, but you're right. He has to show up and get the dub, which, yeah, he looked horrible against Ngannou, and he is such an up and down guy that you never know. So we could see this fight never happen if either one of them has a little stumble in their next fight. So hopefully both guys win. There's a plethora of other topics. I think we can choose one more. Floyd and Pacquiao, I'll just address this one real quick. One, Floyd had a check bounce, and he has felony charges against them right now in Las Vegas. That's interesting. So he may need to fight Manny Pacquiao, but all his fights keep getting postponed. I'll make a prediction that that Floyd and Manny doesn't happen. I don't think we'll ever see Floyd in a pro boxing match ever again. I just don't think that's going to happen. I don't think he wants it, but he might need it because of money.
Yeah.
And then next topic is just we can address this one more later, but Moses Atuma is going to be fighting Ergovich. Ergovich is 20-1, 34 years old, former bronze medalist, or he is a bronze medalist. And then Atuma, he's only 21 years old. Everyone's billing him to be like a next generational talent. A lot of hype around him. You know, just to touch this one, Kalvin, what do you think about Atuma at 21 getting in with a pretty solid opponent like this? Is it too soon, or is this exactly the right time for him?
No, I think this is exactly the right time, man. Some guys, they just mature faster and learn faster than others. You got to put them kind of on a fast track, kind of how David Morrell was, man. Atuma, every step of fight he done passed with flying colors. So I think this is the right time fight for him. I think that they're moving him really well. And some people just mature faster than others, kind of how that David Morrell was. It's on a fast track. I think his last fight was it Dillian White he fought? Dillian White? And
he definitely knocked
flipped him and knocked him in.
Yeah.
And Dillian White has been at the top of the heavyweight chain for a little bit. He don't fought Dustin Poirier. He don't fought these different world titleists and shit. So he has experience. The guy that's a bronze medalist, he has more amateur, or he has a lot of amateur experience, which is why he's a bronze medalist. But as far as professional experience, I think this is a good move for him. I think it's a safe move, and I think he's going to pass again with flying colors.
Okay, and then last topic we'll do here today is Usyk. This is very new. The head of Team Usyk just released a statement saying that there's really nothing personal or emotional that'll prevent the fight with Agit Kabayel and Usyk for it to take place, but they said there needs to be serious commercial structure behind the fight. So it sounds like this will need to be a massive event. Usyk will need to get paid really well for that to happen. And he said that there's a chance that he's already fought his last fight. A decision will be made very, very soon at the end of the week, potentially. Everyone will know where Usyk stands on his future. I think that's super interesting. I think you'll have to relinquish the WBC belt because Kabayel is the mandatory challenger, and they've officially ordered that fight to take place next. Kalvin, what are your thoughts here? Put your prediction hat on. What do you think he's going to fight again? Do you think he should fight again, or do you think he should call it quits?
I think he will fight again, and I think he should. And like I told you in the previous podcast, I think he's earned a fun fight, a pick fight. You know what I mean? Where if the WC strips me for not fighting the quote unquote mandatory, then so be it. I already won it. He didn't win it the right way. So if he feels okay with taking the belt, hand it to him, by all means, go take it. And that's what's crazy about these sanctioning bodies. I mean, they try to dictate things when the fighters are the one paying them. You know what I mean? How you gonna tell me, hey, you owe me a check or I'm gonna take my belt? But go ahead, take your shit. You know what I mean? I want it anyway. I think Usyk should fight for a bang for his buck Deontay Wilder, man. I think he should fight Deontay Wilder. It's a safer fight. It's a guy who is a huge name. People still will tune in and watch the fight. Easier to sell for promoters and people, the money people. It's hard to sell a mandatory. I mean, this guy, he's worked his ass off. I get that. He don't fall who he had to fight to get there. The rankings are up there. I get not stripping that from him. But it's hard to sell that. You know, people don't know him and shit. And for Usyk, it's to lose-lose. Like, I fight this guy that nobody knows. They put a lot of money into it. I beat the shit out of this guy, and I retain my title. I paid the WC more sanctioning fees for what they want anyway. And then what does that do to my career? No, go fight something people going to talk about, something people going to enjoy and talk about in the gyms, at the barbershops. Like, I mean, you see Usyk knock out Wilder, man, that's way more than fight a guy. Like, who the hell is the guy? I don't know. You know what I mean? So I think that is better for him to, you can fight again, but do a fight that makes sense. It's fun.
I totally agree. I don't think the risk is worth the reward. The juice isn't worth the squeeze to fight Agit Kabayel. It's just, you don't need to take that risk. You've earned that right not to take that risk. Get rid of your belt and then fight. Yeah, Wilder's interesting. Fight Rico or, Tyson Fury down the road. Who knows? But yeah, I don't think he needs to fight and take risks against young guys. He can beat them, but why even take the chance? So, yeah. So, I think this was a solid episode, Kalvin. Keep healing up. I'm excited for you. You're only 6 days away, man, from working out again. So, yeah, stay in there and make good choices, Kalvin.
Yes, sir. Y'all make good choices too now. Always fun. Thank you.